notice. So as long as they're good with it, I am, and I will tell you that I have really increased my bookings and my recruiting since I started doing this. So I've taken a little of this and a little of that, and a lot of Wendy Smart's 5 ways to save. So this is what I've come up with. What I do when I first arrive is I give my hostess a gift. I let her know she's going to get one of my exclusive brain bags, and that these are good for putting our books in, switching out every couple weeks, just to have ready to grab and go for those rides in the car or those endless waits at restaurants. So she gets that right away, and I let people know it's exclusive to my hostesses. You can't order it in the catalog. You can't get it anywhere but from me. So if you would like one of your very own, then I have a nice little booking tree here for you with my available dates. I'll pass that around the room and say, schedule your own party, and you can take an extra little gift home with you today. Then I talk a little bit about our mission. I introduce myself. Basically, I just say I'm Sharon Oldham. I'm an educational consultant with Usborne Books and More, and that's pretty much all you need to know about me. Because they are not there to hear about my life. And then I will appoint, I go over my rules. I say 2 rules: you must have fun. And to ensure that you're going to have fun, I need a cheerleader.
Thank you.
Woo! And my other rule is no negativity. No negativity about the books, although who would ever want to do that? No negativity about each other, about yourselves, which is the main one people get caught up on. And I appoint the most dour-looking person in the room to be my party cop. And people have a lot of fun with that. They start buzzing everything. But then what I kind of want to do is start off with a little game. I like to do the learning wrap-ups, and I will give whoever is the speediest one at the times 7 tables a raffle prize, so they get to take that home with them. Or you could use like the quiz tin and ask questions if you want to ask a few questions, like, is a hyena's dung brown, white, or red? That is from our
Is it
quiz
red?
card. It's white.
Oh.
All the bones they eat.
Depending on what.
So whoever has answered the most questions correctly will get a prize.
No prize for you.
And if they've brought a friend with them, they are registered to win a free book. I just give them one of the $5 books that we can get when we place an order. And I also challenge my hostesses to come up with 5 outside orders. And if they have done that by the day of their party, then I will give them a What If Monster or a Cuddle Bear to take home. So then I go into the 5 ways to save. So I start talking about our first way to save is collections, and how you can save a few dollars on books of similar titles or similar topics, and just how what a value it is, and how you can instantly increase your child's home library through collections. And I ask them, what is our first way to save? Collections. All right, whoever answers first gets a raffle ticket. And I do have collections. I always feature one of the White Cleans because I love them. I sell 1 million of the White Cleans and a lot of the collections now. And then I talk about the second way to save, and I tell them it is my personal favorite. And I do feature the complete book of Farm Yard Tales. I talk about how it would cost them $120 to get all of the titles separately, and how in one binding, which is a nice hardcover with a read-along CD, narrated by a very proper British gentleman who doesn't make you want to bang your head into the steering wheel as you drive down the road, they can listen and hear all the sounds from Apple Tree Farm. I do explain the dual reading system and how it's set up so that as children grow in confidence, they can read across. It tells the full story. The bottom also fills in the story. It has more complex sentences. But then I tell them the real benefit of this is that if Junior should have been in bed an hour ago and must have his story, you can read right along the top line and be done in 30 seconds flat. So that's always a popular one. And I ask them again, what are our first 2 ways to save? All right, raffle ticket. So then we come to the customer specials. I describe those. I let them know, spend $40. You can get up to 3 of these at up to 60% off, and they're not just the old titles that we're trying to ditch. I usually point out one of the newer titles. And I try to have 3 on hand with me. If you don't have 3, then, or if you don't have one of them, for instance, February, I don't have. So I'll take January, and I will say you can get this one, and then you could get the February one at a great discount and really get your child into reading. So the first 3 ways to save, you get the point. And then I kind of walk around and I ask, does anybody have a question for me? Anybody at all?
I do.
Oh, what's that?
What do I receive for scheduling a fun night out with my friends?
Oh, Nancy wants to know what she gets for scheduling a fun night out with her friends. That's a great question. So that's when I do my pretend hostess demonstration. So I will explain how Nancy at an average home show, which would be $40, or $400, sorry. I'm not having very good shows, am I? Why'd they ask me to do this? Would get $70 in free books. But with this month's special, she could get 50 extra. And I, drag this out and do them individually. But if she has 1 booking, then she can get $20 for 5. And if she has a second friend book a party, she can get another $20 for 5. And do you have a third friend?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So when that third friend books a party, she gets another $20 in books for 5. And she gets to pick any book she wants from the catalog for free. I always tell her it's the biggest, most expensive book, which is going to be one of our encyclopedias. And, usually she's holding this in front of everybody. And I will very gently put it right on top. So that actually is our 4th way to save, which is by hosting a party. So I have them repeat our 4 ways to save. And then I will ask if there's anybody else who has a question. Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
Why do you love your job?
Oh, she wants to know why I love my job. You guys are really astute. And it just so happens I can answer that. I have my why bag. I will try to go through this as quickly as I can. I have travel incentives, and I always talk about how I won my first travel contest last year. After I talk about the Mediterranean and Atlantis, and I say I won my trip to Oklahoma. And then I have my little bookworm. I have a partnership with a local nonprofit that I've been able to give 249 Cuddle Bear books to since last February. I, of course, always pull out my $100 and say on average that's what I take home for spending a couple hours with you guys. Let's see what else. Here's Rick, it's interesting. Get lots of good answers for this one. But of course it comes down to not being tied to my desk, being able to volunteer at my son's school, walk the dog in the middle of the day, or take her to the vet to spend $268. I have a couple pictures of my child I pass around. The nice loving one where he loves to read. He's reading 2 grade levels ahead. And then later on, I'll pass around the one where he's, And I say, when I'm here, somebody else is home with that. I do have my little chatter teeth, and I get lots of fun comments on this one. And people say it's because I like to talk, which is true, I have to admit, but I also like chatting with them, getting to know about their lives. And then if they remember nothing else from the party, they will remember this. Again, lots of fun guesses, but apparently I need to have some surgery, somebody told me. But it comes down to all the support that I get from my team. And my last one is, of course, my iPad, which I talk about getting for free from Usborne. I never would have bought one myself, but I love it. I'm glad I have it, and I didn't have to pay for it, which makes it the best. And then I can demo the Storytime app if anybody has an iPad. So that then is indeed our 5th way to save. Thanks for asking. That's by becoming a consultant yourself. not only can you save money with Usborne, but you can actually make money too. So that's that. And then I have them fill out the door prize slip. I lead them through that. I give away a half-price kid kit. Then we do some raffle prizes. I do 3 usually. And I tell them I will come around to help them all shop. The last thing I do before that is I take my camera and we get a group photo. And I make sure I am in that photograph.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The next day I will email it to everybody because I have their email addresses on those door prize slips. And I will say, you're also famous on Facebook. I give them my business page address and say, go check yourselves out there. So then I walk around with them and I help them all shop, and I will ask them right there as I'm sitting on the floor, you know, do you think that this might be something that would be of interest to you? Or if somebody was interested in the parties, I will ask them right there, how would you like to book a party? So that's my home party in 15 minutes.